It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Tuesday's Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast. On this, the 17th day of September, 2024, brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scootaround and chilliescruises. Today's headlines, folks, the top story comes from our friends at Carnival Mardi Gras Changes 63 itineraries. It's not that bad. A tough week in Skagway. A solo cocktail party on the Magnifica. It's pretty interesting. Thanks to Nate for that information. A Royal Caribbean signs an agreement with Wartsila. Exclusive show for Norwegian Aqua. Explora 2 Christened. Costa and Mallorca Food Bank. And AIDA gears up for Oktober. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. All right, sorry, I had to clear my throat there, folks. A little frog in the throat this morning. But still, don't get worried about that, folks. I feel great. I just had a little, still having some trouble with the breathing and a little coughing. Not bad, not the same deep kind of cough that I've had for the last 3 weeks. All right, so that takes care of the headlines today. Today is National Monte Cristo Day, which recognizes the indulgent and delicious sandwich made from ham and cheese. The Monte Cristo is a premier version of a grilled ham and cheese. Well, in Europe, they put powdered sugar on it and stuff. Just give me a grilled ham and cheese. I'm happy with that. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big guys have me. All you have to do is search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the fat travel guy. And it doesn't matter if you're on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple products, any of them. Just search and you'll find me. There's always a link in the description of the podcast if you ever want to jump over to the video feed, like for interviews or pictures, clips on that day's show. All right, a couple things to touch on this morning. Don't forget Friday. Who knows what's going to happen Friday? The show might go off on time. It might go off at a different time. It might not go off at all. I won't know till I get on the train in Richmond early Friday morning and get headed on my way to meet Hot Air Tom in Boston. Hopefully, I'll be doing a show on the road, on the train. So I just don't have it scheduled yet. So we're going to have to play that one by ear, guys. The other thing, I had planned on taping an interview with Nate last night. He sailed away on Magnifica, MSC Magnifica yesterday. I had planned on taping an interview, and I got this, I don't know how to explain it, this horrible, bruisey looking rash sort of on my calf. Doesn't hurt, doesn't itch, doesn't feel weird, just ugly. I'm thinking it was some kind of an allergic reaction to something. God only knows what. With the chemo, my system stays totally screwed up. So I took a couple Benadryl just to be, careful. and I was loopy as crap. I couldn't have done anything last night other than sit in the chair and drool. I mean, I was whacked from the Benadryl on top of everything else I take. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, it's still ugly this morning, but it doesn't bother me at all. So I'm debating on whether to call a doctor today or not. I don't know. We'll see. See about that later in the day. All right. Normally I do a weather forecast. There's not a whole lot in the weather today, folks. Gordon is still out there in the middle of the Caribbean, and it should dissipate today. It's like 30 miles an hour. Yeah, it's just nothing. The 8, which is what's given me headaches here today, dissipated as was expected during the night last night. But it is still dumping a truckload of rain on almost all of Carolina and Virginia. And the last time I checked, about an hour ago, there was some more heavy, just extraordinarily heavy bands coming in on the Outer Banks. And that's just kind of wrapping around right toward me. So we're probably in for some pretty good rain. It's raining now, in for some pretty good rain the rest of the day and tomorrow. Okay, I just wanted to get gone by Friday morning when I drive to Richmond to get on the train. And Cindy, just so you understand, I'm getting on the train in Richmond at dark 30. Hot Air Tom is going to come into Boston on the boat Monday. He doesn't get on a train Monday. We get on a train later on in the week and go to New York, but that's after we do a bunch of running around in Boston. So don't worry, I'll take care of Hot Air Tom. I'll try to keep him out of trouble. Yeah, no, forget that. All right, before we get to the news today, we last left Elizabeth in the red light district in Amsterdam, hopefully not applying for a job. But anyway, she took a couple more shots on her way back. She had, of course, had lunch or whatever she had, and probably had a glass of wine or two or some sparkling something. And took a couple shots of Amsterdam on her way back to the boat. Now, yesterday, Hot Air Tom was in Sydney and was going to a fiddler's something or another. I guess this is the hall the fiddler's thing was in. And that's Hot Air Tom. It looks like he's standing up in front of the room, probably trying to fiddle, and they didn't want to have any of that. But this is the band. And let's see. This is the band. And then, just to go with the band music, you got to have a little dancing. Of course, that's Irish step dancing, which is a first cousin to American clogging. Believe it or not, in the day, my niece, Amanda, was quite an Irish step dancer. She was in a professional group, as a matter of fact, down in Greensboro that traveled all over the place dancing. And Amanda was quite good. In my day, believe it or not, folks, with all the infirmities I have, I was a pretty good clogger. Been known to do some clogging and enjoyed the devil out of it. So I rather enjoyed Hot Air Tom's sending that along. This is on his way back to the boat there in Sydney, where they got the fiddle, the real fiddle. And that's a picture of Mein Schiff 1, the German ship. And of course, that's the fiddle that Hot Air Tom tried to take down and play, and they gave him a hard time about it. And this is my buddy Suzanne, who's on the cruise with Hot Air Tom. And I was so sorry that I didn't get to cruise with her again. I really like Suzanne a lot. And she scheduled on both the gyms, and then I had to cancel out, which sucked. So, all right. We shall get on with the news portion of today's show after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. Carnival Cruise Line has reached out to guests booked aboard Mardi Gras for a great number of sailings in the months to come, with an alert about an itinerary change. In total, more than 63 public sailings were impacted. The change, however, is a minor one that most guests won't even notice. The cruise is now planned to conclude at 8 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. in Port Canaveral. Impacted sailings are every Mardi Gras cruise from the ship's January 4th, 2025 departure through and including the September 7th, 2025 departure, plus October 16th sailing through and including December 27th voyage. Furthermore, all published sailings in 2026 are also included in the itinerary change. Already this week, Skagway is having a tough time. On Sunday, Queen Elizabeth and Carnival Luminosa canceled their calls due to high winds. On Monday, Silver Nova and Radiance of the Seas shortened their shore time due to low tides. And for tomorrow, Crown Princess has already canceled due to the weather forecast. New Amsterdam is still scheduled, but that's subject to change. Rough week in Skagway. And before we go on, I have to pause briefly. Ladies, you might want to turn your eyes away. Hot Air Tom in a kilt. That would be Hot Air Tom's new attire for the day in Halifax. I asked him what he had on under it. He really didn't want to answer that. Okay, on with things here. Where was I? Hot Air Tom, you got me all lost here. Introducing the Model R four-wheel urban mobility scooter with a small turning radius and rotating front wheels. Wheel allows you to effortlessly maneuver in tight spaces. The four-wheel Model R with exceptional stability and comfort. The Model R automatically adjusts speeds during turns. Slim and compact design. The Will Model R has a reliable all-day driving range and a portable lightweight battery for charging. You can navigate tight indoor spaces like restaurants. Model R has easy disassembly and convenient storage. She can conquer urban terrain and rough surfaces with ease. Durable frame built with high-strength aluminum, stabilizer and suspension provide stability with a spacious flat floor design. Wherever you use your wheel, Model R four-wheel scooter, you'll have a smooth ride. Yesterday at 5:15 p.m., before a 6 p.m. sail away, MSC Magnifica held a hosted solo meetup cocktail party. Apparently, the event was quite a success, a good crowd, and free drinks. Kudos to the MSC Magnifica. I hope this foretells an event on all MSC ships. I have to add a comment to that. I have said numerous times how well Norwegian does solo meetups. They give us a staff member for the entire cruise that meets with us every day, takes care of a lot of things for us, like, maybe group dinner reservations, group excursions, show tickets, any of those things. I've been to a bunch. I think on every cruise I was on, I've at least tried to go to MSC's solo meetup, which is only on the first night of the cruise, or in my experience. And sometimes you might get 2 or 3 people. Sometimes you might not even know who the solos were. However, that's how I met Gary the first time, was at a solo meetup on an MSC ship. So I think this is a really good sign. This wasn't on the Magnifica when I was on it a couple months ago. To have a hosted cocktail party for solos on embarkation day, I think that's marvelous. And there was a big turnout. I think they gave 1 free drink, but still they were doing something for the solos and giving the solos a chance to get together. Now, I don't know if it's going to continue on other nights or if they're just going to do it the one night, but still, that's a nice start. And then somebody like me will take over and do things the rest of the week if the group wants to do that. So yeah, I thought that was terrific. I'm glad Nate's on the ship. Glad Nate found out about it. That's awesome. Well, I'm sure he and I'll talk about that sometime soon. Royal Caribbean is turning up the heat on its sustainability efforts with a new 5-year agreement with technology company Wartsila. Covering 37 ships in its fleet, the new partnership will improve engine efficiency, reduce fuel consumption, and reduce emissions. Wartsila will handle engine maintenance and performance optimization under the new agreement, using advanced tech to predict and address issues before they cause delays or disruptions. Wartsila will provide scheduled and unscheduled services to minimize the risk of breakdowns and downtime. It will use AI-driven technology called expert insight to predict maintenance needs. From production shows to musical tributes to live bands to comedy act, entertainment is a tremendous part of the cruise vacation experience. Norwegian Cruise Line is well known for its tribute shows and has announced the first ever outstanding tribute to a well-known global icon with Revolution, a celebration of Prince, coming to the Norwegian Aqua in April 2025. Explora 2, MSC's latest addition to its luxury Explora Journeys fleet, held a christening and naming ceremony in Civitavecchia yesterday. the second in 6 ships planned for Explora journeys. Explora 2's special event was marked by a traditional maritime ceremony symbolized by ribbon cutting and breaking a bottle of champagne on the ship's bow. Explora 2 also began its maiden voyage on Monday, embarking on a 7-night journey across the Mediterranean. Costa Cruises has teamed up with the Food Bank Foundation of Mallorca to provide support to those most in need on the island. The partnership takes advantage of unserved food prepared aboard Costa Cruises ships rather than considered its surplus. The food that wasn't ordered by guests is viewed as a resource to be shared with people facing food insecurity. This food, which is still fresh and unused, will be transferred to the Food Bank of Mallorca, which will then distribute it among various local organizations supporting those in need. Oktoberfest celebrations aboard AIDA ships have become a highly anticipated tradition, and this year's festivities are no exception. While the Bavarian AIDA special aboard AIDA Prima is just around the corner from this week, as a matter of fact, started on the 14th through the 21st, featuring acts like Mickey Krause, the Hermes House Band, Vox Club. The next big party is already open for booking. In 2025, the fun is set to get even bigger on AIDA Nova, who will take the center stage. Just 1 week before the official Oktoberfest kicks off in Munich, the AIDA Nova will host a cruise from September 13th to the 20th, 2025, bringing a true festival tent atmosphere to the high seas. The O Zaft Is cruise will set sail from Kiel to Bergen, Norgenfeld, Aalsund, and Stavanger, offering passengers a Bavarian-style celebration like no other. All right, cruisers, this is a fabulous solo deal, sailing December the 11th for 10 days on the Norwegian Pearl from Rome to Paris. 0 solo supplement. Solo cabins with taxes and port charges start at $755.39. Double occupancy starts at $755.39 per person based on 2 people in the cabin. Free at sea is only an additional $506 for the entire 10-night cruise. Ocean views start at $11.95 per person, and the same for double occupancy, of course, times 2. Norwegian Pearl sails December 11th from Rome to Paris. Call me 434-258-9264. All right, and that's going to put an end to the news portion of today's show. Let's go see who's in the chat room today. Fabicari Sanyang. Hello, glad you're with us. Hot Air Tom says, hello, Chillie's Cruises and everyone from Halifax. Late tour on the Harbor Hopper today, so I get to enjoy the show live. Well, that's nice out here. Tour's not till 3 p.m. All aboard's at 4:30. Wow, cutting it close again. Oh, yeah, I meant to mention this earlier. I left Sydney an hour and a half late yesterday due to a tour bus breakdown at their tour site about an hour away from Sydney, so they had to wait for a new bus to arrive to pick everybody up. Mike's with us from the other side of the pond. Good morning, Mike. Steve's with us out in Kentucky, or sunny down Mississippi. I saw the lady's post that said y'all will be waiting for them. Oh, Cindy, I guess. I don't know. I don't tell them I got a whole bunch of things we're doing. Somebody could be waiting for us someplace. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. Emily says, hello, Chillie and the gang. Cindy and I love Monte Cristo sandwiches. NCL does a terrific one on the MDR for lunch, but MDR is only open on sea days. So I've had 2 on this cruise. Gary Older Than Dirt's here. Good morning, Gary. Hot Air says Ken has entered the building. Todd's with us. Good morning, Todd. Waiting on my e-bike guy from Border Bikes. He usually sends me a text to let me know when he's on the way. There's Katie. Katie's working. Let's see. Ken says hi. And have you booked? And has you booked on the March 31st? Ken says hi. And has you booked on the 31st Epic? On the 31st Epic, wait a minute. Let me pull that up. I'll double check. I'm not sure what the 31st Epic. Yeah, so far, Epic on the 31st. No, wait a minute. That's not it. Grandiosa. Epic 31st. Helene, Hunter, Tom, Mara, Catherine, Marguerite. I'm missing something on that hot air, Tom. On Ken says hi and has you booked on the March? Have you booked? Is he booked on the March 31st? No, he's not on the March 31st yet. I'm missing something in the translation, Tom. I feel like I'm in Ireland listening to the music. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't play all of it, but I enjoyed listening to all of it. I'll tell you that. Emily says, thanks. That's great. She was pretty good. Female clogger. She wasn't bad. And there's a little difference in clogging and step dancing, but it's very similar in nature. They're first cousins. The building is by the large fiddle where the concert was on the 2nd floor. The kilt was bought at a store on the lower level. There, Tom, leave the instruments alone. I agree, Emily. Kilt looks very good on you. Yeah, and that was our step dancing, not clogging. Emily says, I guess I have clogs in my feet. Clogging is similar. Yeah. Tom in a kilt. Interesting. Sunny says, your new outfit suits you. Now do a picture while doing a handstand. Yeah, that would be good. A handstand in the kilt. We want to see that, hot air, Tom. Emily says, the kilt definitely suits him. Chillie needs to test that Model R to make sure it stays upright. Well, that's a 4-wheel, so it probably will. The 3-wheel, there's a 3-wheel model as well, which for me would not work at all because that just looks like it would be. I'd be top heavy in that. But I mean, the Model R that's pretty lightweight for my pulchritude. Looks like you can easily take it apart and put it in your trunk. Yeah, no, see, I could take mine apart and put it in my trunk too, except it takes longer than my oxygen lasts. So I had to adopt to my situation and put a rack on the back that I pull the rack on, and I can get it strapped down and lift it up and ready to travel before my oxygen runs out. So that's why I do it that way instead of taking it apart and putting it back together, because it takes me longer than my oxygen lasts. Thanks to MSC for the solo get together. Hope they keep it up on all sailings. It has some importance to many cruisers. I totally agree. I was excited about that. underwear is worn under his kilt, y'all. So don't get your little things in a knot. Em says, laugh out loud. That's funny. Big Pablo. Big Pablo says hello. Hello to you too. Robin's with us listening to the show while making just a few wind spinners. Made only 31. Wow. Big Pablo says, how are you feeling? I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting ready, getting ready to leave on Friday. So we go back to traveling. I'm still a little weak, but I'm definitely better than I was. It was a joke from Ken to Emily. Oh, okay. I got you now. I did give Chillie my information and my friend's information for the cruise. Yep. Just waiting for the word when she's ready to put the deposit down. Todd says hi to Emily. Emily, they are white blank metal spinners that I sublimate on. I'm not sure what that means. I make all kinds of designs from NFL animals, singers, people's pets, and so on. I made the wind spinner for Chillie with his cats. Yes, indeed. I was hearing Chillie had to adopt hat to disassemble the C2 for travel. We have an SUV rental in Winchester in January. Yeah, because I don't last that much time. And we couldn't get a accessible rental. So for that, we're going to have to take it apart. So Hot Air Tom's going to have to figure on how to do that. I can coach him through that. So knickers and a twitch. Yeah, let's put knickers on Hot Air Tom. And Emily says, Robin, that's interesting. All right, guys. That's going to wrap me up today. Fun show today. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. That always helps us out. We have had a huge run up on subscribers. As of right now, we are at, and I'm updating it as we speak here. I'm going to give you the updated number this morning, but it is over 65. Wow, we're now up to 6520. So a big run up overnight on subscribers count. That's excellent. I thank each and every one of you for doing that. And hopefully you'll become active folks with the show. That would be awesome. All right, guys, that's it for today. Again, just take this as my invitation to subscribe. Join us. Doesn't cost anything. Helps the channel out a lot. All right, that's it. See everybody back here tomorrow. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you back here at 11 o'clock tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.